West Tigers 5th. And Phil Gould, two sides that play good, attractive football. What kind of match do we see tonight?
I think it'll be an absolute beauty, Peter. We've got dry conditions here, a good fast field, and both sides very impressive in big wins last week. There'll be plenty of ball movement here tonight.
All right, well, let's have a look at the home side, and it is very strong as always. At fullback, State of Origin rep Brett Stewart on the wings. Michael Robertson got a hat-trick last week against the Panthers. Chris Hicks on the other flank. In the centres, the dangerous Stephen Bell and the very rugged Steve Matai. In the halves, once again, Jamie Lyon has been preferred at 5'8", and he will play outside the skipper and the halfback, Matt Orford. The back row has been the same pretty much all season. Luke Williamson at lock, Anthony Watmo and Glenn Stewart, the second rowers. And as I pointed out, Mark Bryant comes into the run on side for the injured Jason King, Michael Monaghan and Brent Kite. Now, there are a couple of changes on the interchange bench. Glenn Hall and Steve Menzies coming into the 17, Jack Afamasaga and Adam Cuthbertson, and they are coached by Des Hasler.
The Tigers, I just think this Tigers side is playing so confidently. Tim Sheens is one of the real coaches in the competition that understands the ebbs and flows of a season.
They have lost Bryce Gibbs tonight. Let's have a look at how they will take the lead.
Okay, at fullback, Daniel Fitzhenry. On the wings, Bo Ryan and the ever-improving Chris Lawrence. The centre pairing of Dean Collis and Paul Fatawira. Dean Collis is having a whale of a season, very dangerous, sets up a lot of supports out wide. The half pairing of John Morris and Robbie Farah. He's one of my players of the season. No prizes for that one. The back row of Taniela Tuaki. But this fella's come off the interchange bench and come off the wing to play in that position. Now he gets a start there. Chris Hyington and Ben Galea. The front row, Todd Payton's the only captain tonight. Dean Hallertau and Bronson Harrison gets a start from the bench. On the interchange bench tonight, Liam Fulton, Stuart Flanagan, Keith Galloway and Jared Saffy, coached, of course, by the great Tim Sheen.
Stephen Clark, who was very strong on his rulings last Friday in Brisbane, blowing the pea out of the whistle. We're underway with round 18, and they used a shallow kick-off. The Tigers to be taken by Monaghan, who is ever alert. And this is Watmo, who gets it out towards 30 metres. Little hesitation in being able to play the ball. Brent Kite, 32 metres out from his line now. The opening game on Friday Night Football. That is Stewart, the elder of the brothers. Monaghan, a dummy half. Through to Stewart, the fullback, and then on to Bryant. And they're on their 40-metre line. They've come 20 metres on their 5 tackles, and Lyon, they put charge down on him. The Tigers try to jump on it. Monaghan put another boot on it, and the Tigers come back with the football.
Well, a combination of 2 kicks there, made about 3 metres. Simple handover. Good pressure there from Robbie Farah. And despite Tuaki being named at the back row, he's actually started the game on the left wing. Chris Lawrence playing the football, playing left centre.
Here's Farah going to his captain, Payton. Payton put away by Orford down on the Manly 20-metre line. Farah goes to the short side again for John Morris to kick back and across. And Glenn Stewart is there. Makes a good run to get it back to 12 or 15 away from his own line. Now for Stephen Matai. Dummy half run by Stewart, the fullback. Ending just inside 40. The crowd baying for a penalty. Monaghan dummies and splits them open. 35 metres out now from the Tigers line. They open right up around the ruck. Orford goes back on the inside for Kite. Red Kite 22 metres out. Comes away to Orford. Right foot kick across. Looking for Stephen Bell. And it's come off the Tigers and gone over the dead ball. Off Fitzhenry.
Well, he had a big play at it. No real pressure. Other than the fact it's Friday night footy and they're playing the team running second. I think it comes down and gets him in the noggin. Bang, right on the head. A falcon. A self-imposed falcon.
Here we go.
Morris with the drop out. Goes over the head of Orford. This is good for the Tigers because they've been able to take their defensive line down to the 40-metre line. So Manly on the first tackle are just outside 40 and probably should have been just outside 30. Williamson 35 away from the line. Taken down by Hallertau with the number 9 on his back to open proceedings these days. They've done well to be in position 5 given the injuries they've had. Monahan went across, and that was a St Vincent's pass really for Watmo. Just outside 20. They keep going short side. Orford face pass across and picking up the winger on the far side, Robertson. He'll play it 9 metres out from that corner post down the eastern side. Monahan back for Orford. Orford keeping it low this time, and it's again too deep.
That was an interesting play by Orford on the previous tackle. It was a real late decision to run down the left-hand blind side. He ran from open to blind, went down there, nearly caught them napping, but the Tigers adjusted nicely. Sharp start from the home team. And the Tigers, you can hear them puffing from here. It's really blown them away, the speed of this Manly play the ball.
This is Dean Hallertau. Playing it on the 30-metre. Oh, that's a forward pass from the dummy half, and he's caught him. And it's going to be a scrum with loose head and feet from Manly on the West Tigers 30-metre line. Look at this.
That's Daniel Fitzhenry into dummy half, and I suppose when you move Robbie Farah into a first receiver position and get other players at times into dummy half, that can be a problem.
Matthew John sideline.
They're just on the conditions. It's very cool down here, but although it's cold, no dew on the grass at all. A dry surface, which is great for these two attacking sides. Going to see a lot of open football tonight, boys.
Manly then to the left side. And here's Matai actually beating the tackle from John Morris, but it sort of tripped him up. To the 20-metre line then. They go again to the short side. Watmo gets it to the 10. Stewart gets a one-handed pass away. Robertson put down. Great ball by Stewart. Now for Bryant in 16. And he's thundered into the ground. Two-man tackle from the West Tigers. Too long. Here's that man again, Stephen Clark.
It's always interesting to me how low. We'll let it play on because they've taken the quick tap.
Now for Brent Kite. 8 metres out from the line, right in front of the uprights. Running towards southern end of the ground, and Bryant popping through a gap. Monahan working at acting half. Goes behind Kite, goes out to Lyon. He goes behind Stewart, out to Brett Stewart. Now to Stephen Bell. Right foot 3 times, right foot 4 times. Stands, gets out of another, goes to ground. 4 metres out from the line, back where we started, in front of the upright. 3 tackles gone, penalty this time again to Manly.
There you go.
Will they take a quick one again or take the 2?
Orford has pointed to the post there.
Take him out the back, boys.
Yeah, that's surprising.
Take him right out the back. That's the second time.
Todd Payton, they can't stop the bleeding, so he'll have to be taken out the back. I think when you deny yourself the first penalty attempt, you're justified to go for it again.
The second time, you've got to get him off.
Well, he hasn't pointed to the linesman yet. They're still out wide. Orford did point to the post, but now we're having a second thought, I think. Yeah, Monahan's come forward for the ball.
So Bryant was at first receiver, Williamson at second, and an argument going on between the trainer from the Tigers and the referee about Payton. Come back to that. Monahan to Brett Stewart. Stewart goes across, drifting across, puts it down for Bell. Bell again, 2 metres from the line. Tigers in trouble. Manly again attacking. Monahan away for Kite, and Kite tries to reel across, but he's short of the line. Held by Todd Payton in the main. Here's Monahan and gets it away. The try is there. Stewart, I think. Yes, it's Glenn Stewart who has scored. The number 12, well, they had to score, didn't they? Otherwise, we would have been talking about or paying tributes to the defence of the Tigers.
Yes, the pressure maintained and pays dividends. Glenn Stewart starting to score like his brother these days.
And Orford takes another 2 points from the scoreboard.
It's become a very popular play, the way this try was scored, having your forward standing very flat near the try line and just throwing it past to a man who just barges his way over. Look at the way that Ben Galea went up there. He had eyes for other players and not for the likely receiver. There's a man. He's had the first try scorer, that baby. What price was he, said? Where's me ticket?
Well, Gus, the only game that Manly have lost here this year against the Bulldogs, they had a lot of success with exactly that play. Corey Hughes caused havoc that night. Brett Kite does well from the restart to get outside the 20.
He's on the first try scorer, that Black Rabbits, I'll guarantee you. He's looking for his ticket now.
I saw him in the tab on the way here. Now Watmo breasting his way through to the 40-metre line. Maddie smiling, believe it or not. Almost to the halfway line. Playing it back from Monahan. It goes away to Orford. Orford drills it low. It makes a bit of contact, which takes some volume away from it. And we're back just outside the Tigers' 20-metre line with Ryan. Bo Ryan, he played flag for the Dragons. He's not very big. He's only a very small winger. From Farah, it's found Chuaki.
They look shell-shocked here, the Tigers. I can tell you, it took them a long time for their forwards to get back behind to play the ball. This has taken the wind out of them early.
Passing down the short side for Lawrence. Chris Lawrence bagged 3 last weekend. 14 from 15 first-grade games, tries, that is. Farah then, away from Harrison, back for Hallertau. And problems for Stephen Bell. To the right they go for Morris. And that is a deflection that's come across and bounced very favourably for Manly. For Hicks.
Well, he's in some trouble there, Steve Bell. See him limping very badly on that left foot as Glenn Stewart, the try scorer, takes it to the 30. Stewart looks like he's picked up an ankle or a knee problem as Luke Williamson hit centre field.
What's the story, Matthew?
Well, at the moment, we think it's an ankle injury. The trainer just turned to somebody and said, look, I think he's going to be all right. I'm not so sure. He doesn't look good at all.
Watmo able to stand in the defence before getting it to Monahan, who goes back to Kites. And Brent Kites plays it 40 out from his own line for Monahan to reach halfway.
Oh, man, you've got a ready-made centre on the sidelines, of course, in Steve Menzies as Orford. Kick short into space.
Lyon is coming fast. Shut down by Galea. Given to Farah. Farah taken by Stewart. Rapid fire stuff just outside the Tigers' 20-metre line. Chuaki called on to ramrod his way out of it. 32 metres out, tackled by Bryant around the bootlaces. Hicks will have to get out of there. There's the whistle. So he didn't get out of there quick enough for the liking of Stephen Clark. There's Hicks on camera. He's off to Warrington. 3 players involved in this game. Or should I say 2 going to Warrington. That's what happened to Bell. That's what happened to Bell. It's a crook thigh, we're told. Yeah, 3 players going to Warrington, including Matt King from Melbourne. Monahan and Hicks. Menzies warms up in 17. Now, that looked a tad forward from Galea to the runner on his right, which was Hyington. Then Payton. Then for Hallertau to give it to Fatawira. And Paul Fatawira plays the ball 21 metres away from the Manly line. Now Farah turns it in for Payton. And Payton is tackled. He's lost the ball one-on-one. Monahan, good work. Diffusing a dangerous situation. Watmo has been good. Bell is off. Maddie, the ball knocked down by the Tigers. It was knocked on against Manly.
Well, I can't understand this. Earlier in the year, the markers just couldn't get a play at the dummy halves at all. Any marker who made a tackle, he's going to jump early, he's going to go around and knock the ball down. Now, earlier in the year, that was a penalty. But Steve Clark said, no, he was square and gave him a chance at it.
I just get a bit confused. Farah, well weighted. Lawrence is flying, but it's too late.
Oh, they had him beat. A little run around, grab a kick off the scrum wing. We don't see many of those anymore, Rabbits. First tackle, run around, zigzag kick, had him beat. But the kick just wasn't accurate enough, otherwise Lawrence scores.
Gee, the simple stuff is good, Pete, isn't it?
Well, the unpredictable is fantastic. We've seen a couple of sides have joy with that kind of play. Parramatta a few weeks ago. One down at Wynn Stadium earlier in the season. Looks great when it happens, or works, but now they've got to defend again. As Manly bring it down through Menzies, who's playing in the right centre position for Stephen Bell, and offloads.
Monahan is with it. Down, up again, back for Orford. And Orford is put away. 4 metres into Tigers territory. Monahan goes on, and Matai is with the ball. Wants to find the ground because he's close to that sideline on the eastern side. The picture shows the story, and then it's Orford's kick that sits down, and it's Fitzhenry made to work. Comes into Robertson and Williamson, and they try to carry him back to the in goal.
I know he had to make an early decision, but that looked like one that was going dead.
Here's Bo Ryan, and he's, as I said, he's only a lightweight winger.
Second marker.
It's a dangerous position for him to be picked up by a few forwards. Clark wants to talk to Matt Orford. Let's have a listen to it. Let's hear wig on this.
Second marker. The first marker was fine. The second marker wasn't straight. He got involved. But we're not going to have a running battle with this bloke all night. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll leave it up to you. Fix him.
Right. So Matty Orford knows what to do with Steve Maddai. I'll fix him, sir. Leave him to me. Right. So the Tigers coming out of their red zone with a free ticket. And Bronson Harrison plays the ball back for Dean Hallertau to go to Todd Payton. Payton is 7 metres from the halfway line. It's been all Manly possession territory. Scoreboard translates that 6-0 in favour of Manly. A try for Glenn Stewart after the Tigers wilted under sustained pressure. Now for Dean Hallertau. One of 3 players in the Tigers team that has played rep football, international football. Grubbing kick. Stewart made to work on it. And then he gets it back into the field of play after losing his footing. So it was a good effort. Lawrence eventually in number 5 making the tackle, the 19-year-old. Here's Hicks. 10 metres out from his line. Dummy half line. And taking the ball in mid-air is Steve Maddai to the 20-metre line now. Monahan. Kite. Always gets that knee up very, very high when he comes to the defence line. Bit of Craig Smith about him, Brent Kite.
Now we've got Maddai receiving some attention to the right arm. Just a fair bit of this season through injury as Matt Orford goes straight down the middle of the field into the arms of Fitzhenry. It's a good result for the Tigers. They'll be close to the 40. In fact, they're better by a couple of metres.
Fitzhenry. Bo Ryan. Cross and then tries to straighten, but he straightens into the left arm of Glenn Stewart. Matthew Johns.
You know, Gus is right. They've started to subdue the Tigers, but they did the same last week against the Panthers. If they were a boxer, you say they're rope-a-doping. I saw it against the Panthers. They played very subdued. Then all of a sudden, wham, a middle third assault with their quick men. Just watch it after about 10-15 minutes.
Gillia, 9 metres on Manly's side of halfway. Peter Sterling.
Just the first interchange. Ray Jarrett Safi on out there for Todd Payton, the skipper. Came up with a couple of brute big hits earlier in the season. Safi as the Tigers keep it alive.
Through it comes to the man Peter's talking about, the blonde-headed Safi. And he's put down on tackle 5, 25 metres away from the Manly line. Now for Morris. Baseball for Lawrence. He flicked past infield. He speculated, and it's with Jamie Lyon, who's tackled just outside the 30-metre line, Manly's end. Kite, Menzies goes behind Williamson, goes to Orford, comes to Watmough. Watmough runs into Collis. And he's able to get away and knocked on by Manly. Good pressure built there by the Tigers.
Certainly was, but there was a great defensive play there by Manly's Chris Hicks. Chris Lawrence on the last tackle down the short side received a long spiral pass from Morris, and Hicks read it beautifully. Here's Watmough trying to keep it alive and gets off the hands of Orford. Watmough could have been offside. He played at that. But here's the pass from Morris across the face to Lawrence on the outside. Look at the hit there from Chris Hicks. Great reading of the play and really had eyes for his opposite number.
So here they are with the burrow by the lock through the scrum, through the maul of forwards. It's quite legal. Now the 12 will play the ball. That being Hyington. Hallertau goes over to Safi. And Safi will play it 10 metres out from the Manly line. Through now to Farrell. Dummies twice. Goes out to Tuaki. Tuaki in the run-on side as a forward tonight, but Pete found him playing on the wing. Hallertau's pass has gone to ground. Knocked on by Ben Galea, so it'll come out for the scrum to restart play.
Well, not too much blame attached there to Ben Galea. It was a difficult ball, reminiscent of the try at the other end. It was hard and it was high up on the shoulder in plenty of traffic. A couple of mistakes at the wrong end of the field, a kick too long, running on the last tackle and not getting a result. But the field position has certainly swung around in the Tigers' favour in the last 5 or 6 minutes.
What about him, Jared Safi? Doesn't he run around?
He looks a prospect, doesn't he? A former South African rugby union player.
This is Hicks on the 20-metre line. To Glenn Stewart, who got the try for Manly, which was converted.
I don't know if he's got a sidestep. He hasn't looked like using one yet.
This is Glenn Hall. Came from the Bulldogs across to Manly. And Safi, about whom the experts are talking. 42 metres away from the Manly line. Watmo winds it up. Doesn't need a long run to get to full pace. And then Monahan puts it in behind Chuaki. Chuaki running a thread at Menzies. 6-0 the score. Ben Kennedy, he signed the $3 contract to be there if they need him. And this is Fitzhenry, really spinning out of the tackle before eventually being rounded up 35 away from his own line. Then to Farah in 7 and finding Ben Galea in 13. Right on the 40-metre line. Again for Farah to go up the middle. Markers would have to be pinched if they get involved. It's gone back and down for Harrison, and he's able to flick it out. Menzies is waiting for Lawrence to come up with the football. Puts him to ground. Halatar goes on to Morris, crosses halfway. And John Morris to play at this time. Manly player down in back play as Monahan. Farah puts the left foot to it and puts it between the defenders. Robertson out of the deep, out of his own in goal. And Safi takes a lunge at him. Didn't quite get him. Hyington eventually made the tackle. Here's Maddai now out to the 10-metre line.
He's pretty direct, isn't he, Safi? Runs straight and tackles straight.
Orford. Now Hall. Chesting it up to the opposition line. Then to Stephen Bell, who's off injured, and his place taken in the centres by Menzies. This is Stewart wrestling with them, gets it away to his brother Brett. And he'll play it 45 metres out from his own line before the ball finds the boot of Monahan, and Monahan's kick goes down to Ryan. Ryan comes out to the 30-metre line. He's rounded up and put down and rolled over by Watmo. Fitzhenry went into dummy half, and Hyington makes a run that gains something like 10 metres. Strong run.
There's been a strange quarter opening to this game. Well, not a lot of rhyme or reason for both camps. Real ad-lib stuff. And plenty of mistakes coming along with that. Makes for entertainment. I don't know whether the coaches will be entirely happy as Fatawera grasped by Menzies on the 4th.
Back to the centre from Morris. It's gone over to Galea. 35 metres out from the line now, and he's lost the ball and then looked up, and he's got a penalty anyway against Glenn Hall for putting a knee into the ball, or putting a knee into the player trying to play the ball. This was a tackle by Williamson and Monahan on Fitzhenry. And then this.
It's a pretty tough call. I think he was just standing up, Glenn Hall. Nice time to get one for the Tigers. Last tackle.
So Safi to the 10-metre line. For Halatar to go behind a decoy for Farah to turn it in for Galea. Ben Galea plays the ball, and it goes with the dummy half Halatar. Tackled by Menzies initially, and then by Lyon and Glenn Stewart. Played back for the lock forward Galea to go to Farah, rifling it across. A kick by Morris for himself. Robertson to clean up, and he does. Robertson not happy. He got a push in the back, and a pretty heavy one from John Morris. And he almost collided with one of on the Channel 9 cameras.
That's silly.
Well, Stephen Clark was going to bring him in and caution him. He actually yelled out to him there, that was silly. But that is the 4th time in attacking situations that the Tigers have kicked early in the tackle count. Morris has done it twice. Galea's done it, Farah's done it twice. Attacking situations, early kicks in the tackle count. It looks like one of the tactics Tim Sheens has used to try and prise open this Manly defence, a short drop out into the breeze.
Well, they were obviously standing in what you might call the regulation formation for the dropout, but they haven't seen one quite so short, not this year anyway. And it caught them napping. Fatawira to play it 22 metres away from the Manly line. Pass wasn't good. Farah flick pass. Safi runs, and Safi's inside 20. 20 metres in from the western touchline. Halatau with a weaving run. 10 metres out from the line. Same distance in from the western side. Harrison dummies and takes it within 5 metres of the line. A chance for the Tigers to get level. 5th tackle down. Away to the right for Farah. He delicately puts it over towards Bo Ryan. Gone out on the full.
Yes, that will be Manly's possession. A little bit of tiredness out there. They've had to do some defence. I know that it's true. See the final part of that play. I know it's through necessity, but the Tigers are a much better side with Robbie Farah at the dummy half position. He's slotting into the first receiver, number 7 at the moment, with the injuries that they have to the likes of Benji Marshall. But Halatau's a runner out of there, basically a passer straight from there, so a lot of the danger's gone out of the dummy half area, and I just don't think Farah can be as creative as first receiver than he is out of the dummy half role.
Watmo is tackled over on the right edge for Western Suburbs, the Tigers, by Collis, played by Brett Stewart, passed by Monahan, kicked by Orford, and down it goes for a mark on the run from Fitzhenry. Out to the 20, puts on a right foot step, but it runs him into trouble, and Williamson calls for a knock on. It's not forthcoming. Here's Collis now, and he's put away 23 metres out from the Tigers line. He's had a good season, Collis. That's an awful pass from Halatau. A fair dinkum dummy half wouldn't want to put his name on that. Lawrence for Fatawira for Galloway. I think this is the scene of where Galloway was taken out by Hopewadi when he played in the Cronulla shirt. Keith Galloway, for which I think John Hopewadi got 17 weeks or something. Here is Collis on the right side. Product of Fairfield Patrician Brothers. From Ryan, a dummy half. It was all too slow. Much too slow. Farah's kick, finding the line, centimetres away from the corner post, so the touchy brings it out to the 10. We'll take a break, come back in a moment. And 6-0 the score. Scoreboard attendant having a fairly quiet night. In fact, I don't even know if there are scoreboard attendants anymore, are there? I'll just ask the guru when we come back. He'll know. Out! Back at Brookvale. And 6-0 the score in favour of the home side. A try for Glenn Stewart, which seems like an age ago. It was converted, and then nothing since. Scoreboard attendant not troubled. Is there such a thing as a scoreboard attendant these days, Gus?
No, mate, they brought the electronic one in, and I saw the old scoreboard attendant before the game picketing outside.
Was he still picketing?
Picketing outside against technology. Hates it.
Here's Robertson coming from his left flank to be tackled more towards the other flank. Clyde taking it up to them, putting the right knee up to them at the same time. Monahan puts it down towards Chuaki. Chuaki comes out of that corner. They got a little bit high there. Clark lets it go.
Yeah, I'm surprised they continue to kick to the side of Taniela Tuaki and not to the youngster Bo Ryan is only in his third first-grade game. Beautiful work from Morris under pressure to get the ball to Galea, who in turn finds that man I'm talking about, Bo Ryan.
Williamson charges in with Robertson. Play by Bo Ryan. And John Morris is with the ball. Robertson hangs around for a piece of the tackle, and you might be saying, why wouldn't he stay around for a piece of the tackle? What John Morris did down the other end of the ground 5 minutes back, totally unnecessary. Halatau dummy half. Farrah's with the ball, crossing halfway. Up the middle he drives. Williamson meets him with Kite. Play by Farrah. Halatau to Morris. He doesn't even look happy, Halatau. He should. He's played a lot of dummy half, but he looks to me as though he's unhappy.
He's tired, mate. It's a hard job to get there all the time. When Farrah's playing dummy half, he goes there now and then. But to go there all the time and keep giving the good service, that's why he throws that bad pass. He gets his hands on his hips now. It's a hard job.
Play by Brett Stewart. Brent Kite. Taking it outside 30, coughing the ball up. And he's found a strip.
Yeah, got a call for the touch judge here. Through in the tackle. Des Hasler, well, looking like he normally does, not happy during the course of the game. He wouldn't have his side was 30 in front or 30 behind Des.
56 unanswered points against the Roosters last weekend. 6 points so far on the board for them against the Tigers. What's that tell you? Does it tell you that Manly aren't playing as well? Or the Roosters must have played dreadfully? Neither side really clicking into the form that we've seen take them to 2 and 5 respectively. Play by Glenn Hall now. Then for Monahan to go to Alford, takes it out on the fingertips before giving it away to Watmoe. He's just inside that 30-metre line, which is astern. Alford, Williamson. Williamson goes back into the traffic. And eventually he's arrested there by the 12, Hyington. Alford to the right, onto Lyon, pushed on to Glenn Stewart. Now away to Brett Stewart. Flicks the ball anywhere and hopes for it, and Lyon is with it. 5 gone for Manly. Chance, that's where they are. 12 out. Menzies on the last. Alford gets the kick in. Going to Robertson. Gets it beautifully. Gives it to Maddai. Maddai strains and struggles, but they put him in a touch. Lovely fly by Robertson.
That's great defence. The Tigers had to go in and get the man who caught the ball, then turn around and chase Maddai, who's a pretty strong dude. I've seen him push a few off at close range, but they just gathered him up and threw him into touch.
He did really well, Bo Ryan, didn't he? He was one-on-one with him for a few steps. The important steps before Dean Collis came in to help as the Tigers go wide in their own 20. Fatawira rounded up, but stays in the field of play.
Paul Fatawira plays it here on the western touchline. Now Todd Payton. Todd Payton, I thought he lost that ball. Somehow or other he hung on. 15 is out there for West Tigers, Stuart Flanagan. So Tim Sheens has obviously noticed what we were talking. Yes. And here's a break made by the same man. Flanagan, he stopped and looked around. Lawrence is there with him. Flanagan's still going. They show him over the line. Flanagan has scored in record time. He's broken his PB. He's broken the world record. Flanagan, number 15, scores for the Tigers.
Well, he got an important one last week just before half-time against the Panthers, and he split them up with his first run of the game, straight through 2 defenders. Looked to shape his support players, but in the end, put the foot down. Stewart gets him, gets out of the tackle. That's a try. There's Robbie Farah now, also the responsibility of goal kicking.
Just dragged it across the face.
I'll show you one, Rabbits, it's a little faster. There's a horse back in the field that ran on very nicely here. You watch as Flanagan goes through. Look where Chris Lawrence comes from. Now, I reckon Chris Lawrence gives him 15-metre start. And here he comes from the back of the field. Now, I want to be on him next start when they put him down head-to-head. That's why he was looking for him. He was looking for the faster man, but was able to do it himself. I think that horse running on at the back, Rabbits, might have a little bit on him if they get a fair start.
So So Manly restarting Matthew.
Yeah, this is exactly the way the Tigers build their game. Start very complacent, build into the game slowly, and just put maximum pressure on the opposition forwards. And I can tell you that last 5 minutes, some of those front rowers and back rowers for Manly were starting to look tired. Here comes that middle third assault.
And here he goes again. Flanagan. 8 metres short of halfway.
Gee, look quick in that short dart there, Rabs.
Yeah. Gus wants to back Lawrence to beat him. He can get on with me.
I'll take the Quinella.
Get me wallet. Go down the car and get me wallet.
Yeah, you haven't got a wallet. Now it's gone to Morris, gone away. The 14 is out there for them. Collis with a fend. Collis down the right side. He thrusts the ball into the 14. But it's gone to ground. Fulton is on for the Tigers. Manly with the ball. Now it's Rich Stewart. Take no more for the favourite. Play by Robertson. Not Stewart. This is one of the Stewarts. Glenn. He's put to ground 35 out. What are you laughing at?
I've got people in the crowd throwing their wallet up to me. Everyone wants to get on.
It's gone. It's off. It's finished. 21 is Cuthbertson. I tell you what, when he walked out of the sheds, he went to put his headgear on. I thought it was Wombat Edie. Did you see that picture?
Oh, don't say.
I'm talking about the head. Now it's gone off the boot of Orford. Down into the corner. And back there is Fitzhenry. Talking of heads, put on a beautiful header earlier in the game. Now Ryan. Williamson makes the tackle on the 20-metre line. There's Cuthbertson. Well, you can laugh if you like. Gus.
Graham Eadie's not laughing.
Anyway, it's just a means of making conversation, but I still think there's a little likeness there. Here is Hyington. Stan pushing it away. They're finding little chinks in there, Peter, aren't they? I mean, Manly were in the ascendancy, but suddenly the Tigers are making breaks.
Yeah, well, yeah, they've had a lot of football and they've had great field position, but we've only had one try from them, and that was an individual effort from 60 out. So there is some concern still as John Morris, 2 passes out, gets the high kick away. Chris Hicks, no dramas with that one on his own 20. Important couple of minutes now for the Tigers.
It's a thundering kick. John Morris, 3.5 minutes of the half remaining. Now, Afamasaga.
Yeah, that's gone forward before going backwards, I thought. In fact, it's an important couple of minutes coming up the Manly in defence now. There's Afamasaga, former Parramatta Rookie of the Year.
Now it's gone away for Fitzhenry to put it down. Williamson with the ball. He will play it. Just inside his own 40-metre line is Watmo! Goodness, he can make some breaks on the edge. Monahan on for Matai. And Steve Matai, 35 metres out from the West Tigers line. Penalty against Chris Hyington. Now he's not happy with Matai throwing the ball at him. They come together. Matai and Hyington.
It is the old Silvertail Fibre days. Just the way we like it.
Steve Matai here. Steve!
And gee, it's a surprise to see Steve Matai involved.
If you want to continue doing silly things, you're really walking a fine line, you might end up in the bin, all right? Now be very careful, Steve. Penalty or stand here?
Well, a couple of silly actions tonight. John Morris had no reason to push.
So they reckon.
Winger at the far end, and gee, that's dangerous. Getting heads together like that. That can see you on the sideline very quickly.
Manly with a chance. Close to half-time. 12 from the line, Cuthbertson. Monahan calling the shots. Was the ball play? Monahan. He's there! Right on half-time. Now he wants to have a look at it.
Can you just check to make sure he got that down, please?
He wants to know, did he get it down?
He grabs it. He's about to lose it and then plays it. So I'm happy with that play on there. And then Monahan ducks under Payton. Beats Galloway. Throws the dummy. Gets through Fitzhenry, plants it. That's magnificent.
There's the green light. It's a try right on half-time to Michael Monaghan. And what a loss he's going to be to the Maroon and Whites when he heads off to England.
Well, he's just done a great job, whatever position they've played him, mostly at hooker the second half of the season. He's beaten 5 players there and had plenty of work to do at the end with 3 around him. Matt
Orford should get this and send them to the break 12-4. And there it is. So Orford converts the try scored by Michael Monaghan. We've got about 30 seconds to half-time. The Tigers won't be keen to come back all that quickly. Amazing how things turned out there. The disagreement between Matai and Hyington, and eventually it led on to a 6-pointer for Manly. Has there been 8 points between the two sides after 40 minutes? It's not a statement, rather it's a question. As Morris's kickoff is taken back by Afamasaga to the 20-metre line. Manly defending the northern end of their own ground, where they've won 11 of the last 12 outings at Brookie. That's Cuthbertson, and that is the half-time whistle. So at half-time, Manly 12, West Tigers 4. So the start of the second half is upon us, and Galloway it is that comes galloping back to the 20-metre line. And Flanagan continues his turn at dummy half. This is Hyington under that 3-man Manly tackle, play just inside the 30-metre line as Flanagan comes away with a little dart and holding the ball out with 2 hands, keeping them guessing, then sending it forward back to the short side. That was Payton. This is Hyington. Flanagan, of course, built more in the Robbie Farah mould, about the same size, exhibits probably a bit more pace. Galloway takes it again on the 5th tackle, just into Manly's half play as it comes to Farah, shaped a kick, then pass. Morris getting the pass away, and it's come out for Collis to sweep it back on the inside. The 14 is Fulton, and his kick is finished up with Manly's Monaghan. And we are on the 40-metre line, Manly's end of the park. Brett Stewart away to Afamasaga to the halfway line.
It looks to me like that 5th tackle spread was well rehearsed there for the Tigers. They planned that during the week and went ahead with it, even though they didn't have the numbers, and got to an awful situation to have a terrible kick.
Orford taking it on the left and then working it back towards the right to pick up Glenn Stewart. Stephen Bell limping back to the bench. Be long odds about him getting or being used tonight again. His Lion, Peter.
I think he's actually off to the sheds, Ray. I think that he realises that he's no good. So it'll be 16 men as Matt Orford. Kicks deliberately wide out, well taken, but pushed into the in-goal area, Bo Ryan. So a restart from under the posts. Poor last option at their set of 6, the Tigers, and all of a sudden Manly are about to have back-to-back sets.
They're great, the kickers, aren't they? I've said this a number of times. Just they're able to bring it down in the field of play, make the opposition play at it, and give their defenders enough time to get the ultimate result and push them into the in-goal. Matt Orford applauding the chasers there for doing a good job, and the Seagulls get the ball back again. Running into the breeze here, the Tigers.
Well, in fact, it was Dean Collis who caught that. It was taken in as Masaga finally picks it up.
Met first up by Fulton. Also by Dean Collis. Played back to Williamson, and now to Kite, and Kite wants to drive it up through the middle. 25 away from the West Tigers line. Play back for Monaghan to swing it back to Afamasaga, and he's got it to 15 metres out from the uprights of the northern end. Monaghan, Orford, lovely pass out to Jamie Lyon, on to Stephen Menzies. Another try for the most prolific forward try scorer in the game. Stephen Menzies though he be playing centres again tonight.
Oh, what a bonus. Stephen Menzies coming back late in the season. Scored a try in his comeback match. And he brushes through Chris Lawrence here to get one tonight and extend the lead for the home side.
16-4 kick to come from Matt Orford from 8 metres in, 20 metres out on the eastern side, and that's what he's confronted with. Hits it, and he's pushed it away to the left of the uprights.
Sometimes you score a try because of a great play, and sometimes you score because of a great player. Jamie Lyon runs a terrible line here. He goes racing across field, cutting out the options on the outside. But the great Steve Menzies with the ability to step back. 33 years of age, this bloke, and as sprightly as when he first came into first grade. That's great footwork from a forward playing out in the centres.
Back then to live action, and it's Kite who's had the ball dismantled, and a penalty goes to Manly against Todd Payton for raking the ball out.
And this is the field position I'm talking about as we see the reason for the penalty. Payton, he didn't seem to do too much there, but he got in the way. It's been a great start for Manly this opening 5 minutes, and it all goes back to that poor option at the end of the Tigers set of 6. Momentum now really picking up. Points have come from it. Second tackle, they'll be in the opposition half, and again, putting the pressure on.
Williamson making halfway. And Monahan going to Lyon, who shows it, and then it's Glenn Stewart who comes bumping and bouncing his way through. And eventually he's tackled 38 metres out from the West Tigers line. Offer to the right, short side kick, down and deep. Too deep. So we called for a scrum.
I think the wind got the better of him there. He was looking to kick in behind Tuaki. Just give it a little nudge, and the wind got underneath it and went whoosh. He said, oh, where'd that come from? I thought I hit it okay. Needed one club less, I think. Probably should have hit a pitching wedge there, Rabbits.
Maybe a lob wedge. 12 points the margin.
It was an unusual kick. The wing had already gone back. Not quite sure whether early in the count it was putting that much pressure on, to be honest.
Hyington to play it now, getting close to halfway. Morris a dummy half, a job that he's not unfamiliar with. Play by Galloway. He wasn't facing goal. Flanagan runs, shows it, goes again, and then he's picked up and bundled into the turf, but he's a lively customer. The number 15, the try scorer for the West Tigers, Payton, nearly to the 20-metre line on the western side. Flanagan, Morris, then Farah, Tuaki up the middle inside 20. Pulled down by Stewart, the second rower, and Kite. Short side for a kick from Farah. Back and across for Collis. The bounce is good for Manly. For Robertson.
It was a very astute kick there from Robbie Farah. He actually belted that one into the breeze. Kicked it very, very hard into it, knowing that it would come back.
Masaga eventually plays the ball. Williamson comes away, and a penalty goes against the Tigers for a high shot from Galloway.
There's not much on that. Two players coming in a little bit high. Have a look at this play. 6 or 7 metres in from touch. Look at all the Tigers down the blind side, and the dummy half runs blind side. I don't understand that part about the modern game. How you can fit 4 attacking players in 5 metres. They nearly didn't fit down there. Can you make sense of that, Rabbit?
I beg your pardon?
Can you make sense of that? There's a lot of them there, wasn't there?
Well, they certainly represented a team that had stacked the blind side. It reminded me of Ryan Warren when he coached Canterbury. He would do that quite often with little short passes from forward to forward to forward. And it worked often for him too.
He got very crowded when I was defending on the blind side.
That's when they used it. Hicks was with it 40 metres out from the Tigers line. Now from Monahan to Orford. Orford showed it to Williamson, gave it to Afamasaga. And he's tackled just outside the 30-metre line. West Tigers entered the ground. Orford looking back in the middle. Oh, Watmo has gone to sleep on it. And it's with Payton for the West Tigers. I get reminded so many times to call them the West Tigers by the old Magpies people. Fitzhenry is with the ball and knock-on orders.
That's a good read in defence there by Steve Maddite. Again, has eyes for his opposite number. They're a little bit outnumbered in defence. He's got the option of 2 ball receivers here. Watch how he follows his man, bang, and hits with the ball. Forces the turnover. That's the sort of defence that can turn big games. And when you've got players like him that can do it, it's, you know, you're always a chance in any game.
Manly winning the scrum. Afamasaga. 25 away from the line. Orford just planting himself back over to the right. Going over to Jamie Lyon, who goes off now down the right side. Inside Menzies. Here's another one for Stephen Menzies. Another try for the Beaver. 2 tries second half. It's Menzies.
And the good news for the Manly faithful is Steve Menzies has decided to play again in 2008. Nice and fresh after missing much of this season. And Jamie Lyon got on the outside of his man with some good footwork. Beats Fatawira, who came up too quickly. And when he was taken by Galloway, flicked it back on the inside, and Menzies accelerated through the gap. You just see on the inside, Chris Lawrence should have come across as well. He was down moments ago with a sore leg, and he would have been the man coming inside to stop Menzies, as Orford adds the extras.
So 22 points to 4 in favour of the Eagles. 12-4 half-time, 22-4 now. And a lot of it due to the finesse of that fellow, Jamie Lyon. His combination with Menzies has cracked them on the West Tigers' left-hand side. That time, it was Paul Fatawira left grabbing at air, and he's not an easy man to get around. But Lyon, he's been prominent in both the tries enjoyed by Stephen Menzies. This is Chris Hicks. Manly coming away for Afamasaga out. Matthew John sideline.
And Ravs, just what you're saying about Jamie Lyon, that try is evidence how Jamie Lyon should play. I know he's in the 6, but first and foremost, if I was Des Hasler, I'd just say get out there and use your natural ability to run the football. I mean, if you want a ball play, you've got Glenn Stewart on the outside, who's as creative as a number 6. So run the football, Jamie, and I won't be called an overrated player, which, incidentally, I don't think he is. I think he's a terrific footballer.
Galloway is with it now to the 40-metre line.
Gee, there was an awful play there from Manly. I think it was Glenn Stewart who just threw the football back. Can't do it after scoring points. Todd Payton wrapped up well by Matt Orford, gets some help from Williamson.
That's where they are, 35 metres away from the Manly line. They're going down the centre of the ground now with John Morris, and Afamasaga launches himself in defence. Together with Monahan, they put him away. 30 metres out, centre of the ground. Carlton draft Friday night football, as the ball is reefed into the air by Farah, and Stewart was on the ground when he was hit. There was an appeal for tackle in mid-air. Chris Hyington, the tackler, it was okay. But this man Robertson, his arms went up. Oh, be careful there, Tuaki. Here's Stewart. Now watch him. And he gets a foot on the ground at the same time as Hyington makes the tackle. It'd be a tough call to penalise him for that. Hicks at the 30-metre line. Monahan sends it down the right side of the ground.
40-20.
And that is 40-20.
Is he going? Is he going? He's pulled up short.
Just check.
Let's go upstairs.
Not another touch, Judge, with a leg on both sides.
This time he did stop short of the 20, I think, Ray. Monahan a bit perplexed. He's looking up. He kicks it from his own 30. Kicked early in the count, so the winger was way up. Bounce. That's a 40-20. It's a 40-20.
Is that a 40-20, Bush, or not?
It was a 30-20.
It's a 30-19.
And I just think the linesman got tired. He ran down there for 60 metres, couldn't go another step, but Manly are going to get the feed here. That man goes out prior to the game. You come to Brookvale early and watch him warm up. He'll do 20 of those before they start the game. That's a reward for practice.
Orford goes back to the side. That's been good for them. Menzies, quick play the ball. Trouble for the Hicks is held about 3 metres out from the line. Chris Hicks playing it for Michael Monaghan. Out to Orford. Watmo runs a decoy. Stewart comes in from the back, but it's forward. No try. And I thought there might have been an appeal for obstruction on Watmo.
Oh, there was an appeal, all right. The West Tigers were blowing up, saying that Watmo has taken out John Morris. And as he's passing the ball, Liam Fulton gets contact with Matt Orford, and the ball definitely goes forward. So we've saved the decision upstairs.
Gee, there's some danger signs in this Tigers defence, isn't there? They're starting to look very thin out on the edges, and Manly with a good lead and the wind at their backs and the wind in their sails. Oh, boy. They're going to have to hold on here, the Tigers.
They have suffered a couple of mountainous defeats at the hands of a couple of the teams that we've always thought were top 8 teams. Parramatta, was it Parramatta and Brisbane that gave them a touch-up? Oh, Williamson has taken one to the chin, the top of the head there of young Flanagan got Williamson. Here's Payton. 5 metres into Manly's territory. Farah kicks it in behind Robertson. Robertson off his own line.
He's coming to the sideline, Luke Williamson. He's underrated and he's very tough. Oh, head clashes. Awful things to look at.
Flanagan's head seemed to bounce off a Manly head onto Williamson's head. Well, he's taken a double whammy, young Flanagan.
Of course, that's how we lost Brett Hodgson earlier this season. PJ Marsh coming in a head clash. Fortunately, he'll be back within a month as Williamson. Well, he's not going up to join Bell just yet, as Manly get a penalty for a hold down in the play the ball.
The penalty was brought about by dwelling in the tackle by the 14.
Sorry, mate. No discretion that we had the dominant tackle. He had a forearm. Forget the dominant tackle, Todd. He had a forearm on his head, and he leant on him, and he leant on him. Now, Todd, the last 3 penalties against you blokes, you got to clean your act up, eh? Let's get it right.
There you can see Liam Fulton, the culprit. Penalty count now 7-3, so better than 2-1 to the Manly team.
So what Todd Payton was saying there, just to explain it a bit further, it had been called a dominant tackle. Well, he was asking why weren't we given more time in the tackle, but Clark explained there was some foul play involved, and that was the reason for the penalty. This is Cuthbertson in the headgear, and another. No, this time it's against Cuthbertson.
You tackle back here and you've come forward.
He's walked off the mark.
Well, he lunged off the mark, and there's been too much of this in the game as the Tigers take a quick tap. Watch how Cuthbertson is pushing forward. He's looking for a reaction from the marker, and we missed it. Play's gone on.
West Tigers with John Morris beating one before being met by Bryant and Cuthbertson. The captain is coming off, Todd Payton, and they've got Jared Saffy back into the game. Here is Harrison away for Lawrence. Lawrence looking for an opening up through the middle. He's just outside the 30-metre line down Manly's end of the ground. Flanagan went left and Farah came right and crossed to Morris, who finishes up with Fulton. And Fulton is just inside 30. It goes from Morris to the 16. Harrison. And he couldn't. Well, he could have got it away. Now it's come from Flanagan's boot. He rolls it in. Robertson. And he takes a dead line drop out Manly.
That's a result there for the Tigers. They haven't had too many on their last tackle. Very interesting penalty up there for walking off the mark. Normally what we've seen this year is the referee won't make the defensive team go back any further. With the man playing the football going forward, he just shortens the distance to the defensive line. But that occasion, Stephen Clark said, no, you've gone too far. Wouldn't mind if that set some kind of precedent for the last 3 months of the season.
So the line dropout is not all that brilliant. And that is Chuaki going down over the touchline. Brilliant defence by Manly. Second defensive best, second attacking best in the league.
Well, they've nearly taken him to Coleroy. If the sideline didn't come up, this fella would have landed in the waves. What's this? They could have taken him as far as they like. They could have masked him down the highway, through DY, over the sand and into the water.
Yeah, great positioning there. Chris Hicks, the initial contact, and then Jamie Lyon came in and picked up. And that is the kind of defence that lifts a team. Coming into the final quarter of this game, 3 converted tries in front, man. You're looking to go further.
Do you think he was held, Rabbits? He looked held to me.
I'm just surprised that you knew that was the way to Coleroy.
Hey, don't worry about me, baby.
Here's Brian. Tackle just inside 40. To the short side for Hicks, and Hicks to the halfway line for Manly. Monahan waiting. Now going over to Glenn Hall, and Hall decides to try and break them himself. Down to the 40. They're still hanging on. They've roped him up now. Hyington and John Morris. Monahan's looking for a penalty. Cuthbertson's with the ball. Cuthbertson will play the ball. 25 out from the line. 5th tackle for Manly. Monahan off it. Steps. Beats one that came out of the line. Rolls it into the fullback. He's in trouble. Fitzhenry. Lost his footing. Line dropout.
Well, by any gauge, this is very, very impressive from Manly tonight. They ran into the win in the first half, withstood the Tigers' assault, defended their way to a half-time lead, 12-4. But since they've come out in the second half, they've been in total control. That means Fitzhenry's been under pressure. But by any stretch, this has been impressive.
So Orford taking the line drop out and sending the big 21 Cuthbertson down to them, and he bounces off a couple before being put away by 3 others, including Safi. Now for Hall, and Hall muscles up and gets it within 15 of the line. Monahan dummied to the blind, went to the open for Matai, and Matai is ridden down by Harrison. Monahan with the choice of left or right, and goes to his playmaker, Orford. Orford goes then to Stewart. Brett Stewart flicks. Menzies looks for 3. Menzies will play the ball. Move! 2 or 3 metres away from the line. 4th tackle gone. As they come over to the big number 16, the ball has travelled forward and hit an opponent, which automatically puts us into a scrum. Mark Bryant, the 16, trying to take the ball under pressure in traffic.
I think they knew he was getting it this time. They were lined up to tackle him. They weren't going to be caught again. Glenn Stewart scored the first try that way with a similar play, but the Tigers were ready that time.
Scrum then 10 metres out from the West Tigers line, and they, as is normal, win the scrum. Matthew John sideline.
Yeah, Rabs, I just want to correct Phil Gould on something, just a bit of local knowledge. When Tawaki was picked up and taken over the sideline,
yes,
he was actually headed towards Harboard. I live at Coleroy. It's in the other direction. Thank you.
Oh, wonderful stuff, Johns. Safi with the ball. 30 metres out from his own line.
I never said Coleroy was over there. I said they could have carried him to Coleroy, which I know you turn left at the lights up here and go up the highway.
There's Matthew trying to show you where you went wrong. You won't even listen to watch. Stop and you'll learn. To the halfway line come the West Tigers now, played by Daniel Fitzhenry. Ball towed ahead down towards the 10-metre line for Stewart. His top surface is loose, Pete. It's claimed a couple of victims, hasn't it?
Well, there's no doubt. I know that Matt John said that it was dry early on, but our game is it's a night game these days. Now, coming into this weekend, 71% of games have been played at night. So it's a different kind of football that you've got to prepare for. It's not a dry, firm Sunday afternoon at any of the suburban grounds.
Now, Watmo on the back of some good work by Cuthbertson. Watmo able to stand and keep it alive. Cuthbertson was there. Now Stewart. That's a big effort, a tidy effort by the 21. He's lined up again for another gallop. He's got the ball again, Cuthbertson. It might be Wombat Edie.
And Anthony Watmo limping in the background again for the second time as Matt Orford puts it high at the post. Oh, that that was easy like that take here at Brookvale.
That'll do me. Matty Johns, the boy from Cessnock, giving me directions about the North Shore of Sydney.
Northern Beaches, thank you.
Northern Beaches, sorry.
This is unbelievable. You know Leyland Brothers?
Yeah.
Fitzhenry for Galea to the 40-metre line. Then from Fitzhenry a dummy half through Farah to Safi, and Safi grimaces and hits them with the knees pumping, and now to way to Morris, and Morris trying to fool them, gets it to the 40-metre line. Fitzhenry again up to dummy half, and again trying to find a little hole in the Manly defensive line. Farah to the air. Hicks safe under pressure. A fend on Chuaki. Chuaki didn't like it. He goes back after him with Safi. They put him down. And Halatau. Now Glenn Stewart. 22-4. And 15 to go. And Brett Stewart still to score a try. We wait. Glenn Hall up towards halfway. Monahan coming back for Bryant. Bryant tackled by Harrison and Galea. Orford snaps a kick over towards that corner post on the northeastern side, and it finds touch. 22-4. Manly enjoying an 18-point lead, an 8-point lead at halftime as we extend our wishes that it's entertainment for you up in the UK. It's Satanta, and those of you taking us on networks. As Manly go into a defensive mode, the Tigers winning the scrum, and they find themselves again running it out from inside their red zone, as some people call it. Galea got a ball away. It was knocked down by Manly, though.
Played up Manly.
And this will be a scrum feed for West Tigers back on their own 20-metre line. Yeah, Cuthbertson has played out the ball and knocked it down, knocked it forward.
Let's go, boys. Yes.
So Farah in the 7 these days. Marshall and Hodgson to come back. Obviously, from a Tigers point of view, sooner rather than later.
Oh, they must be counting the days. As I said in the first half, Robbie Farah is such a talented player, but it just doesn't help the football team with him in the number 7 as first receiver. And both of those players you're talking about, Benji Marshall and Brett Hodgson, play like number 7 first receivers.
This is Collis with the ball for the West Tigers. Of course, the fact that Farah is playing 7, it doesn't help Dean Halatau, the 9, who's about to do what he's expected to do, the dummy half work. I think he'd rather be out filling in a dummy half when he has to, but running mainly. Here's Farah going across, and Chuaki has run into a really solid tackle from Menzies. You watch Menzies tackle, he nearly always wins that battle. You don't see them sort of running over the top of Menzies. It's normally the attacker that goes backwards. Here's Stewart out to the 20.
Now, he's a classic defender, Steve Menzies, and you know he's come up with the goods when he adjusts the headgear. When he stands up.
Just doffing the cap sort of thing.
Well, it's normally the contact is just so that he needs to do so.
You see what I mean? You can run at the wall, but you won't break it. Here's Cuthbertson, the 21, looks out to Robertson. Robertson's away. Robertson scores. Cuthbertson again. The big 21 prominent.
He's been really good coming off the bench. Afamasaga, Cuthbertson, they've given them good value coming in as they take advantage of a very compressed defensive line. Bit of doubt on that pass, and Cuthbertson does so well. Takes the fullback infield, takes him away from Robertson, made it harder for Fulton, and in the end that proved the difference. The flyer getting away. Watmo has led the field. Williamson has gone back on. He's really struggled out there, Anthony Watmo, with a couple of knocks as Orford looks to convert.
This time, the upright, and it bounces
Well, we're going to wind back the clock here to the great days at Brookvale Oval as the ball comes wide outside the Manly back line. And here it is, Wombat Eady. Graham Eady on the charge. Have a look at it. It's a spinning image of him. It's a twin. If that's not Graham Eady, well, then we're all bad judges. It's the absolute twins. I had to check myself twice. Talk about deja vu.
Manly 12 metres out from their own line. Glenn Hall to the 20-metre line. Monahan going behind Cuthbertson, picking up Glenn Stewart. 25 out from their own line now. 28-4. Cowboys and Broncos playing in Townsville. Our second game. Monahan punching it down to Tuaki. Televised that match out at Parramatta between Parramatta and South Sydney. Play just inside the 30-metre line. Tigers into the ground with Lawrence. Lawrence was making a clean break. Tackled by Hicks. And Fatawira showed it to Tuaki and then took off and ran into Menzies. And again, there's no going past this fella. Back for Morris. Morris to the halfway line. Williamson is there with Cuthbertson. Crowd not too bad considering the temperatures in Sydney tonight. Here's Hicks. Back to the 20.
I'll tell you something, Rabbits, in all seriousness. Adam Cuthbertson's nearly been the best forward on the field in his time out there. While ever he's been out there, he's nearly been the most dominant ball runner in the side. He's an improved young player.
No, I think that's more than a fair comment. I was only sort of half by joking, but some of the things he's done tonight, certainly I haven't seen him play this well since we've been watching Manly this year. He's come ahead in leaps and bounds. The 21, Cuthbertson, is with it now. And then he passes just in front of the line, finding Williamson. Just what the doctor ordered. Cuthbertson, as Monahan drops it in short for Fitzhenry to come back, and Williamson back with us now. He took that nasty knock. He and Orford make this tackle inside the 20. We've got 7.5 minutes of this game remaining as Bo Ryan is tackled. 25 out from his line. Payton passes Morris. Oh, gee, that's a good hit by Matai on Fulton, I think it is. Yeah, it's Fulton. Matai, bang. Come here. Let's get down here and get dirty. Played now by Halliter to Morris. Morris went straight past Cuthbertson. Put that down for a minus on an otherwise perfect game for him. Farah drops it in behind Robertson. It's going too hard. Yep. It's in touch and goal.
On the other side of the coin here, the Tigers have really been devoid of ideas in the second half. They're really struggling to break the line or even look like breaking the line. And this is probably as dispirited type attacking raid that I've seen from the Tigers this season. Manly have snuffed them out.
Well, it doesn't get a whole lot easier for them the weeks to come. The Warriors will be tough next week. The Cowboys and the Titans. That is the road ahead for the West Tigers, and I thought they really struggled first half as well. They had a lot of possession at the right end of the field, and it was just a long-range effort from Flanagan, which was their only result as Matt Orford cuts it back across to Glenn Stewart. Sideline Matt Johns.
Yeah, Sterlo, just on Anthony Wadmo. Look, he was taken from the field. He's got a bit of a sprained ankle, but he's okay. 28-4. They need him fit for the big games. They're going to keep him fresh. He's fine.
Menzies in a battle over there with Lawrence. Oh, Lyon, Jamie Lyon. Some fantastic handling of the ball out there. Hicks was on the end of it eventually. Brett Stewart, Matt Orford. Now for Jack Afamasaga. I couldn't remember the Jack part of it. Now it's Orford, Williamson, and it's gone to ground, knocked on, advantage plays. Collis gets it away, lost by Morris, advantage was there. Manly's ball inside 20. And it's 0 for Manly, played by Bryant. Afamasaga to the 10-metre line. That's Jack, is it?
What about a hat-trick for Menzies, Rabs?
Right, let's go to him. It's out for Lyon. Here's the combination. Out to Stewart, on to Menzies. No, Lawrence hangs on. Plays it 10 metres away from the line. Hicks back for Cuthbertson. Cuthbertson decides to get it away to Bryant. The big man is over. Bryant scores. And guess who passed it to him?
It's a brilliant pass too. It's a brilliant pass. Not many forwards have got the skill to delay an offload and give it to the second man. Afamasaga comes first, Jack comes first, then he pops it out the back to Bryant, and the forwards are combined. That is an absolute beautiful pass.
Mark Bryant gets the try, Cuthbertson gives the pass.
I think Mark Bryant looks more like Wombat than Cuthbertson does.
You've missed the point totally. When Cuthbertson takes the gear off, when he takes the headgear off was what I was trying to say, and you've just stretched it and played with it all night. Orford converts the Bryant try, or Cuthbertson's try, if you like. Matthew John.
Yeah, Rabbits, I saw Cuthbertson play a little bit of football in the lower grades. I'll tell you one thing he's got, like Stephen Price. He's a big fellow who's got very good late footwork, and that's one of the things that separates forwards. He used his footwork on a great occasion for that try, and myself and Phil spoke before the game about young forwards in the game, and we don't see much of those old world skills, those offloads, but that was pretty nice, Gus.
So Manly, Cuthbertson again is in the thick of things. Brett Stewart had that lined up to mark it. Cuthbertson went in under his throat and took it away. Now it's Afamasaga. Here's Stewart, and the only combatant is the 21 Cuthbertson. This is my show. Keep out of the spotlight. Played by Bryant now. Williamson loses his footing. Gets it back and gives it to Matai. And he will play the ball 8 metres from halfway. Held down by Bo Ryan and held down too long penalty.
Got to get it up.
Well, again, he's claiming that the arm was pinned by the ball carrier. No joy in that appeal. And Manly. Well, they'd love to get to 40.
Well, they've now scored 90 points in 6 days. 56 against the Roosters last Saturday night. And 6 days later, they're racking up another one. 34 here.
And here's Cuthbertson.
He's playing with them.
Stop it, it's starting to hurt. Here is Stewart, the fullback. He was trying to get up and go again. He did that. Beautiful hands by Afamasaga. He gets rid. No, referee Clark has found, I think, a forward pass.
Watch this brilliant work again from Cuthbertson. The way he surges at the line and then gets the arm free to pop it over. Now that's a player with a stack of natural ability. I love the way he changed pace and then surged at the line, used his bulk and got the right arm free. That was a good pick-up from Jack.
You prefer that, don't you? Afamasaga Jack.
There you go.
So Farah feeds the scrum and highlights how ridiculous they really are. He put it in behind the second rower's feet. It's come away with Galea to the 30-metre line, West Tigers end of the ground. Fitzhenry, 20 metres in from touch to the 40-metre line, his own end of the ground. A place they've been far, far too often to build any pressure on Manly. This is Harrison running off a Morris pass, then standing and getting it back to Todd Payton. And Payton is secured by the Manly defence. 34-4, 6 tries to 1. And here's the ball put down by Galea. It was 12-4 at half-time. 34-4 now, so 22 unanswered points in the second half.
And that passage here just sums up West's. This was a try-scoring opportunity. Farah bursting through. Galea had 3 men on his outside. The ball didn't stick. As the clock winds down, the last 10 seconds, and the Manly crowd will count down with it.
Manly have registered another victory, and that is gold. You're quite right, young fella. And not hard to tell who you follow. The whole family dressed in the regulation maroon and white. That is gold. In the second half, I've got to say that, they didn't look like they were pleasing Des Hasler all that much in the first 40. But the second half, the Tigers, they wilted. Manly got it together, got it right, and ran out victors 34-4.